So what is your advice for new buyers in cannabis, right? I do think every market, if it's not dealing with price competition and price wars now, will in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
I think that everyone's focused on how they make their retail shops cash flow positive, right? Everyone's dealing with the competitive elements. Someone who's brand new or someone who just came up from as a bud tender, right? Or, like yourself, right? Just came in from the wholesale side or something like that. Like, what advice would you give them start off with in the role?
Be open and transparent with everybody. Make sure that your relationships are strong with all of your vendors, because at the end of the day, you never know what's going to happen. You might be in a pinch. You might have accidentally over ordered for 420 that's coming up, and now you need to liquidate through a lot of this inventory. So one, I would say being transparent, open, with the people that you're working with in terms of all of the third vendors, and then understanding the market as a whole, understanding, the price compression, understanding and utilizing a lot of the tools that you have readily available for you to make educated and rational decisions. Because at the end of the day, we're playing with hundreds, millions of dollars,
A
and
lot of money.
yeah, we're responsible of a lot of money, and we're responsible of having that product turn over. So just, that's my biggest advice is,
Yeah.
think rationally, be open and honest with all of your vendors, be transparent, because, you may love somebody, but their product's terrible. You know what I mean? You got to break up with them eventually, right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of how it goes. And then, yeah, I would say those are the two things that I really would
Yeah.
advise. And then start slow, don't bite off too much that you can't chew.
Yeah.
Sometimes your eyes get bigger than your stomach, and you're like, oh wow, Jeter is amazing. Like, I'm gonna place an enormous order because they're one of the best brands, and you don't want to put yourself in a bad spot. So,
Yeah. 100%.
understanding what your company policies are, understanding how much inventory you could have on hand. I think that's the biggest thing, and then operating within those parameters that
Yeah.
have been set by the company.